Peace to the family. I'd be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to try to make a correlation between this viral moment with the pastor, gospel artist Marvin Sapp, and the incident that everybody knows about. It wasn't recently that the event occurred. The event occurred maybe about a year or so ago. But with the internet, we know how things tend to resurface, and they gain momentum when people spin things a certain way. But this is part of my installment of what's the grift. And I'm specifically dealing with the black community, the African American community, the foundational black American community, however you may want to call it. But this is my dealing with what's the grift. Again, the framework for this discussion comes from the eminent scholar, Mr. Neely Fuller. Mr. Neely Fuller just left us recently, so may God be pleased with him. May he be granted the choicest parts of paradise. May he be protected in his grave, and may the legacy of his scholarship live a long time and forever in his students and those that study his material. But Mr. Neely Fuller, he's the author of the book we call The Code. It's the United Compensatory textbook, thought book for victims of white supremacy, racism, white supremacy. Just Google it. If you can purchase it from one of your local vendors at a festival or a local black-owned bookstore, that would be better. But if you don't have any other choice, you can buy it from one of these big online distributors. I won't say their name. Don't want to give them no free press, no free ride over here. But what Mr. Fuller used to teach, he used to teach about the 9 areas of people activity. Those 9 activities, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing added one more, which was health. But originally they were 9, and they are war, politics, economics, education, sex, entertainment, labor, law, religion, and the 10th was added by Dr. Welsing, and that being health. But back to this viral video of Marvin Sapp and one of his church services, where he asked the ushers and the security team to close the doors while he proceeded to want to meet the goal of raising $40,000. Whether they were online, whether they were in the congregation. I think they was at the Civic Center. I don't think they was in the house of the Lord. My God. But let me tell you just like this here. Let's be accurate about this depiction of things. Tithing, offerings to the church, these are necessary components of how churches and other religious institutions make their money. So, okay, that gives me the opportunity to segue into other religious organizations as well. And I'll speak in particular of the Nation of Islam, because they have a time in their service where there's an offering as well. Okay, well there's a call for people to donate to the works of Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. I'll also segue into Orthodox Islam, where zakat is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, which is a it's a charitable gift in order to help support widows, orphans, and people that are in distress. Again, this is one of the pillars of Islam. So let's pull it all together. Was what Marvin Sapp doing, was that a grift? What the other entities that I named, is that a grift? Depends on how you do it. Depends on how you do it. Having the ushers to lock the door and to ask those that were on stage for a certain amount, $100, then everybody else $20. I don't know if it's a grift, but it seems manipulative. It seems manipulative. Whereas in the connectional church, and I would even say, revival, these are moments in the church that is part of the service, right? I'm trying to remain positive about this, because we know it takes finance to run these different type of organizations, but it lends to a caricature of some black ministers and some preachers and some religious groups or whatever, that they only out for one thing, and that's to run your pockets, to get your money, to take money from Sister Betty, elderly woman. She been going to the church all her years, and she loved this church. She loved her pastor. She loved the imam, Sister Khadijah. Loves the minister, and will give anything and everything for this body of God, So it's a slippery slope with me. Again, like I say, I know it takes finance to run a church, a mosque, a synagogue, a temple, a lodge, you know what I'm saying, an oasis, whatever. And it takes fundraising. And these are really holy moments. These are holy moments in the lives of parishioners and believers. But for it to be trivialized with such pomp and circumstance, and it's kind of deflating with the advent of the mega church. These huge bodies where you don't even know your neighbor. I know church don't have assigned seats. The masjid don't have assigned seats or anything like that. But there used to be a feeling of community, a feeling of knowing it being a safe place. And again, like I say, it's a slippery slope into a grift when you start locking doors. wanting people's tax returns, it being a social demonstration of who can give the most money, who's the $100 man today, who's the $500 man today, who's going to sow this biggest seed. And again, like I say, that becomes a caricature of the black church and ministers in the church. I say this, every loudmouth ain't saying something. So that's why I'm trying to be moderate in this installment. Again, like I say, I know it takes money to run a church, to run a mosque, to run any type of organization. But the optics of what Marvin Sapp did, it just doesn't look good. He's not the only one. There was a time where I was a seminary student. I studied for a Master's of Divinity so that I would know exactly what it was and exactly what ministers went through, what they learned. Not myself to be a minister or anything like that, but I was interested in the theology of in how it came to the black community, how Christianity came to the black community, versus being one that would sit there and throw stones at how they was living. And this preacher told me about a popular minister in the Atlanta area, a brother named Jasper Williams. He was doing a revival for a minister in a small town. And Jasper Williams had a fee that he expected of people for him to come and preach during their revivals. Now, this man had been doing good work in this town for years and years. On the 365, on the 24/7, 365, this man was there for their people. But when this big name pastor came, Jasper Williams, he was able to raise more money in one night than this man was able to raise in 1 year. As the story was told to me, they say that Jasper Williams gave the man all of the money. Didn't take nothing for himself. That's not what Marvin Sapp did. I don't know the ins and outs of his church or how he gets down, but I will be the first to say that if you were abusing those people financially, there's a story in the Bible where Jesus flips over the money tables, the money exchange tables in the temple. And what does he say? How they made my father's temple into a marketplace. Okay, so do your due diligence and study what the marketplace was in ancient Near Eastern Palestine. You see what I'm saying? Because there was rules to how the offerings were given. If you're talking about a burnt offering of salim, the priests had different parts of the slaughtered animal that they got, right? 'Cause certain parts were considered delicacies, and so what, and so what. So it's a hierarchy to it. Do your due diligence and use your common sense out here. because some of these pastors are running your pockets, and they're living these lavish lifestyles, and they doing their thing, and it's just becoming ridiculous. It's not how it used to be. It is a grift from some people, but not all people. So I don't want to cast the eye of aspersion on some pastors, some ministers, some imams, some ministers that they are just running your pockets or anything like that. But the optics of this last this Marvin Sapp thing, it just doesn't sit well with me, right? Where was that money going? Who did it help? I say this. If you plant a seed to grow a church, in heaven, you will have many churches. Same thing in Islam. If you build masjids on this earth, there'll be plenty masjids for you in the next life. I don't know if you subscribe to that type of theology or not, but I'm just saying it go back to the parable of the sower. As you sow, so shall you reap. And I'll just say this, is that there are many grifts going on in our community, and it doesn't bode well for the church or any other religious institution to be seen as a grifter, a con man, or someone that's just totally out for the check, or trying to get the money. So again, I say, I hope this video finds you in the best of life, strength, and health. I hope that it may prompt you to do some research into how the 9 areas of people activity are affected by what you allow to come into your eyesight, your earshot, and how you live your life. I say this again. If you live the day without learning something, you wasted a day in this life that you can never get back. If anything you find about this video helps you, that is my utmost intention. My intention is not to disparage anyone or anyone's way of life. Please like, subscribe to my channel. Help me grow this thing, because I plan on doing some big things with people that find themselves in need. Okay. Have a wonderful and blessed day.